I spent most of my time I've spent a 30-year career on Wall Street, in a sense, in corporate, publicly traded corporate directorships and so on. And if you've been on the Wall Street, you know that most of the major money, professional money, is in the hands of professional managers that manage portfolios. And they, to a fault, manage quarter to quarter. They manage each quarter, so at the end of the quarter, they'll look as good as they can be for that quarter. And now the Asians and the Europeans have a little different perspective. They have a little longer horizon, but still, every portfolio manager has a reporting period, and his whole conduct is such that he wants to get at the end of that reporting period looking back with a minimum of regret. And that's actually a key thing in decision theory. Minimizing their maximum regret is called the Savage principle in the mathematics of game theory and so forth. In other words, they want to minimize the maximum. What's the regret? What could have happened had it been different? I want to minimize whatever that would be called regret. I want to minimize the maximum regret. That turns out, as you mathematically model the decisions, takes you a slightly different path than you might take otherwise. And so, but that turns out long run to be the right strategy. And that's what portfolio managers try to do. Well, from that background, I noticed that the really competent givers, sources of funds, do the same thing in a very different way. See, the professional manager makes his decisions in light of the ultimate review of the end of the reporting period. You and I want to do the same thing with our giving. We don't want to give to a ministry because of need. There are more needs that will ring your doorbell than you possibly can respond to. There's no shortage of needs around the globe, even within the Christian context. There are more needs than you can deal with. That doesn't turn out to be a very useful yardstick in and of itself. What you want to do is look for evidence that God is in the action and then join him in what he is doing. When I was very active as a professional director, I've served on 12 boards as chairman and CEO of 6 of those, but I spent a lot of time with investment groups, especially venture capitalists, because we were primarily in high-tech, high-risk ventures. I got a very interesting insight into one of the prominent venture capitalists that I was close friends with. They constantly see proposals, and they can never be sure that which ones are going to win, which ones are losers. That's part of the game, is you make some bets, you'll win a few, lose a few. You hope you make enough on the winners. You may have one winner in 20, but you win enough on that to pay for the other 19 kind of things. It's that kind of world. But it was interesting insight because this one particular guy, he pointed out, he was much more concerned that he didn't want to pass a project that turned out to be a big winner. He was more worried about that than if he invested in something and turned out to be a loser. And then I realized from that remark that, see, the whole thing is really, one of the insights is it's all ego. It's not return on investment. Because where it's a loser, they have ways of cutting the losses, and yet they want to be, the whole idea in venture capital was to be joining the guys who were on this particular winning project, whatever it might be. And so, in a sense, they're doing the same thing. They're really trying to guess which ones are going to prove to be the most meaningful investments. They're not worried about making an investment where it might not be as good. They're primarily concerned about being with a winning investment. Well, a winning investment in terms of your giving is to be supporting something that you know God is in. Because again, God doesn't need your money because he's going to accomplish what he wants to accomplish. But he will extend to you the privilege of joining him in this project or that project. You want to make sure it's one of those and not just someone that is in a box canyon of some kind. So now, there's another thing. You obviously you can't take it with you. That's not true. That's not true. You can take it with you. Luke 16 tells you how. You see, it's just like if you're going to visit a foreign country, like especially a third world country or something, you don't wait till you get there to convert your money. You usually get your banker to do it. What you do is you convert your currency into the coin of the realm before you get to their airport, right? Well, you do the same thing going to heaven. You send up your resources ahead. You can't take it with you. You ship it on ahead. So in other words, what you want to do is use the resources God has provided to you here on earth for his work, and he'll take care of you on the other end. And you simply must send it, as I say, send it on ahead. A thought.